So what we're going to play with now is if we influence your feet, does it have an impact on how your spine's able to move? So if you have your wedge, now is a good time to grab your wedge. And if you had a foot that didn't pronate as well, let's start with that foot. So we're going to start, for me, my left foot didn't feel like it was pronating very well. And what we're going to do is take that wedge and we're going to put it under the inside part. So it's lifting up the front of your foot, a little bit tilting it to the side. So you could say your left foot is getting lifted up into a left side bend, if you think about it as your spine. So now what I'd like you to do with the wedge here under your forefoot is try your side bends again. And does anything feel different for you? And for me, I feel like I get a little bit more stretch through my side of my back here, which means I might be going a little bit more, or maybe I'm just using a bit more of my spine. And we'd like more of your spine to be moving, not just little clumps of spine, but the whole thing articulating. Okay, so that seems to be reasonably helpful for me for my spine bending. Now try that on the other foot. Put that wedge in the same spot on your other foot. And try the same experiment. Does it make you feel like there's a difference in how your spine's able to move? And interestingly, this doesn't feel like I can go as easily to the left. You might notice a difference or you might not notice a difference. And that's what we're trying to determine, is where should you focus your energy? So it's worth the time to do this assessment process to see where you need to focus your energies in your bodywork practice or your movement practice. So you're not just randomly doing stuff. So I don't think that was super helpful having that wedge there. I'd rather put it under my left foot. Okay, now we kind of skipped the sagittal plane extension and flexion. So what you can do now, maybe I'll show you close up. So the last assessment, we had the wedge. If this is your left foot, we just put it under there like that to kind of tilt your foot, the front of your foot to the side. Now I'd like you to take it and just put it under here. So it's almost lifting the front of your foot up a little bit, just under the base of the toes. And we're going to see if lifting the front of your foot up like that, just pick one foot. And we're going to see if that improves how well you can arch. Ooh, yeah, it does. Arch and flex and extend your spine. This really gives me a lot more sense of I can lift my upper chest higher. My spine just popped as well, which is a nice indicator of movement. Try both feet and see if one foot helps you more than the other. This side doesn't help as much. This side I actually feel worse when I put that there. So it seems so far that if I use wedges to influence how my left foot is moving, my spine frees itself up. Okay, one more thing we're going to look at with your feet is we just want to see if turning one foot out has any impact on your rotation of your spine. Remember, the foot turning out is a transverse plane motion. And our transverse plane motion in our upper body at the rib cage is a rotation right and left. So in theory, this foot rotating to the left should couple with a spine rotating to the left because they do the same things. That's very roughly putting it. So let's try this out. I'm going to rotate my spine to the left. That feels a bit more free. And then I'm going to rotate my spine to the right. And that also feels more free. Both directions feel better. Try turning your foot in, keeping your pelvis to the front, and rotate your spine left and right. That actually also feels pretty good. Interesting. Try your other foot, turn your right foot out to the side, rotate your spine. See if anything feels different. That feels restricted. And that's not very useful. Every time it seems like I do something with my right foot, it doesn't really feed up into my spine in a productive way. Turn your foot in. And that also feels kind of restricted. So it doesn't seem to matter what I do with my left foot. If I get it to move differently, it helps my spine. I don't have any injury history on my left ankle other than that it is just really stiff.